Zack Snyder's true vision of Justice League is finally coming out. And man, oh man, it's been such a wait since we saw that 2018 underwhelming film that didn't even feel like a sequel to Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. But as someone who is a major fan of both of those movies, I was heavily looking forward to this, and it did not disappoint at all. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is coming to HBO Max this Thursday, and I got a very lucky chance to check out this movie early. And of course, I've been one of the people saying release the Snyder Cut, and I never thought we were going to get it this soon. I thought maybe 10 years from now, maybe Warner Brothers would be like, hey, just like we did with Richard Donner, let's finish your cut, let's do it, let's get it out there to the public. But it's come sooner because thankfully all the fans who have really much released the Snyder Cut, let's get this thing out in theaters. They officially have finally put it out into at least HBO Max so we can all dive in and actually see the true version of this, because that 2018 version was definitely not something that we wanted and didn't even feel like a true sequel to what we had gotten before. Of course, if you guys are new here though and you guys love talking movies, this is the channel for you guys. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. How excited are you for Zack Snyder's Justice League? And in general, what is your favorite film from Zack Snyder? Let's discuss it all down there. And of course, let's start hashtagging restore the Snyder Cut. So if you guys can, I do say this, if you guys are major fans of this, the Justice Pledge is something that a lot of people are doing and considering. After watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm going to be doing this and pledging the price of a cinema ticket to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I really hope you guys can also dive into that. Any revenue made from this and my spoiler discussion will also all go towards that, and I hope you guys can tune in for that. Overall, again, I have a lot to say about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I absolutely loved it. If you can tell by the title, I said Zack Snyder's Justice League is an absolutely perfect event slash comic book film, and even at the same time, it's a masterpiece for me. You know, I love Man of Steel. I think it is the best DC film maybe ever made, especially in this entire universe, and it's one of my favorite comic book films. It's the movie that really brought back that love of Superman that I always had as a kid. And when you look at Batman vs. Superman, when I saw that film in theaters, I was so utterly disappointed, but then I saw the Ultimate Edition and it completely 180'd my entire thoughts on the whole movie, and I was just like, holy crap. Now, both of these films have grown on me so much to, again, be one of my favorite comic book films of all time. Now, Zack Snyder's Justice League enters that same entire camp. And growing up, you know, I was always Marvel and DC, but I was more of a DC kid. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, the Teen Titans, Blue Beetle, Constantine, Swamp Thing, all those characters, and even more, really came about to me in a certain way. But what Zack Snyder has really done with these characters is brought about the versions of them that I love from the comic books so entirely much. Dissecting them and really much showing them as not just these gods and heroes that we see them as, but as actual human beings. I love the dramatic look of them in Man of Steel and also Batman vs. Superman and now even Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is a 4-hour epic telling of a story, and one that me and my girlfriend absolutely loved the entire way through. And even when the movie ended, I felt so satisfied, like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted back in 2018. I wanted this actual conclusion to a story. But as the movie ended, I sat there going, can we please restore the Snyderverse? Because I think he has such a grip on this world and these characters. And I understand in the whole context this technically isn't canon, but in my mind it's probably going to be. Imagine getting the likes of Shazam and others to join the Justice League. That would just be awesome. Like I said, this is a non-spoiler review. I'll be saving my spoiler thoughts for later this week, and I'm very much going to try and be vague because overall, yes, the film is the same story from the original 2018 version. Like, but back to back, every single thing throughout the story is pretty much the same. There's Mother Boxes, there's Steppenwolf, there's heroes joining together, and they have to stop him from combining the Mother Boxes. But along the way, you know, in that original version, it's only 1 hour and 59 minutes and 59 seconds. There's 3 more hours added to this entire film, and it fleshes out not just the entire story, the mythology, which is all completely epic. Like, if you guys love Lord of the Rings, like, this is the type of elements that they throw into here. But even imagine, like, that 300 very much stylized, heavy action that Zack Snyder put into, again, the 300 films, all placed inside of here. That, like, it's so epic. Like, my jaw hit the floor. Me and my girlfriend were completely sitting there cheering, shoving popcorn in our face. It's epic to all proportions. And if you're a comic book nerd, you're gonna love all that. And especially if you love Zack Snyder, like, you'll just be completely blown away. But again, other than just expanding those elements, it expands each and every character. I really mean this. Starting with Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is actually a character in this. He's not just this lugging around monster. There's actually more to him. And the CGI looks so great on him. And a lot of the CGI in here is actually fairly well done. There's like a little kind of issues here and there with the CGI, but that's like me nitpicking when it comes down to it. Coming around all the standards, the fact that it looks this amazing and better than the 2018 version, it's just an absolutely achievement, and really shout outs to Zack Snyder and all the VFX artists on that entire part. But even adding into there a little bit more as well, not just Steppenwolf is added to a lot of that whole entire layer, but also the Flash, a character I didn't really care about whatsoever in the original Justice League. And I haven't really excited to see Ezra Miller's Flash movie because I didn't care about him the first time I saw him. I actually really liked him. Not talking about the stuff outside the whole entire universe when it comes to him as a person, but his character as the Flash, I really dug it in here, and there's a lot of cool, awesome moments with him in here that I was like, oh my god, they made him awesome. And even going from there, Aquaman gets a lot more lore and depth to him. Same with Wonder Woman, both of them great. Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, absolutely killing in this entire movie. And I love how this movie really well sets up Aquaman and Wonder Woman's separate movies, and I was just completely blown away with that. Plus, adding on top of that, of course, you gotta talk about Batman himself, Ben Affleck, my favorite personal Batman of all time. He just plays this role perfectly. Whether he's Bruce Wayne or Batman, the determination in him is so fluid in here. And you saw a bit of that in, again, the 2018 version, but they flesh it out so well. The world, everything of that nature, and just, again, you see that determination. You know, when you think of Batman, you know, we got Christian Bale, we got Michael Keaton, we got Val Kilmer, we got George Clooney. Each and every one of them, I always felt like they were either better as Batman or Bruce Wayne. For me, I think Ben Affleck nails both parts perfectly and simultaneously to the point where it's, again, night and day difference of two different characters, but that is exactly who Batman is supposed to be. And the way that he's working together with this team just overall just goes so greatly. But again, there's two characters that I've been very much saving because I feel like these two characters were completely disrespected in the original version of Justice League, and that is, of course, starting with Superman. What they did with Superman in the original with the CGI and everything was a complete mess. Now, some of those elements are still, not the CGI mess, but some of the story elements are still the same with Superman in here, but a lot is added to him. And you can tell Henry Cavill is more into this. There's more background context when it comes to Lois Lane as well, and Amy Adams just kills it. Again, Superman is the heart of this entire movie, and he is completely badass. And we'll talk about more about those action scenes in a couple seconds, but the other character I want to talk about, because as Superman is the heart of this entire movie, the soul of this movie is very much Cyborg. Ray Fisher absolutely blows it out of the park, and you can completely see why he is so frustrated with what happened in that first Justice League film, because like I said, I've really liked the Cyborg character. He's so freaking fantastic in there. I was honestly blown away with Ray Fisher's performance, and out of all the characters, he's the one emotional crux to this entire film that actually had me in tears through multiple different moments. You learn so much about him, and in general, while this is the origin story of a lot of different characters and of us getting to know them for the first time, this is the origin story of Cyborg, and he very much is... It's a horror story, but it's one that I was completely invested in, and you can definitely tell that Zack Snyder's vision was completely in that entire character, and his heart and soul is all just completely brought about in it, and it completely, again, blew me away with the way that they handled the characters in here. And again, what Zack Snyder does is dissect these characters and not just make them the heroes that we love, but also feel relatable as humans. On top of that, I mentioned that I would talk about the action set pieces, which again, in the original version of Justice League, I don't hate to compare to it, I don't want to, but you kind of have to. Those action scenes were lacking. They felt underwhelming. The climax just felt so sore. With 4 hours to spare, all the action scenes that you saw in the original are expanded on. The tunnel sequence with Batman, the Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman are excellent, and really much just brings it about in such an epic proportion. You see that whole battlefield thing in the 2018 version when Wonder Woman's telling the background story? Amazing. The Themyscirans and them protecting the mother box. Oh my god, don't even get me started. I was sitting there clapping on the edge of my seat. And of course the climax to this, each and every single person, they get a moment to shine. every single person. Flash gets a really cool thing in there, and again, I gotta be vague because I can't really mention it. Cyborg gets some really emotional and awesome and epic moments in there. Superman, I mean, just freaking some of the best Superman content we've ever gotten on the screen. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, absolutely badass. And of course, my favorite superhero of all time is Batman, and the way that he is just driving that Batmobile, like, we just got a glimpse of that in 2018. There's a couple shots in here that absolutely just, again, blew me away. Yeah, I'm a fanboy when it comes to DC, but yeah, this film was everything I wanted it to be and more. I haven't even talked about the cherry on top of this entire movie. You know, one of the disappointments in 2018's Justice League was the score. I love Danny Elfman as a composer, but I just didn't feel like that score worked at all. It didn't feel epic. It felt very generic. Junkie XL. Oh my god. The scenes that you even saw that, again, were Zack Snyder's in 2018 are added to another layer because of Junkie XL's score. Or it doesn't just add to those sequences, it enhances them in every single way. I sat there just blown away, tapping my girlfriend like, this music, this score, I could listen to it for every single day, and every single sequence and second is just really much just exploded with such uniqueness, and really that can only be enhanced by the score. The score was the entire cherry on top of what Zack Snyder's Justice League is all about. Zack Snyder's Justice League was a movement. Released the Snyder Cut. That's what we were all wanting. We wanted to see his actual version, and now we have it. I never thought we would get this when the first thing started happening. I said maybe down the road, but as it started building, I joined the camp because I said I want to see this. And the fact that Warner Brothers is now letting him actually debut his version, it's just awesome. I really hope we get to restore the Snyderverse because I think he really has a grip on these characters, and I think for me, I want more of this. I want to see where this story was going because you get some of that Nightmare First stuff in the trailers and it's awesome, but it's very little, and really much the core crux of this is that original story we saw in 2018, but expanded on into an absolutely amazing way. I loved Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think it is a phenomenal movie. I think it's an achievement when it comes to stuff in Hollywood, and it isn't just perfection for me. It's one of my favorite event/comic book films ever. Coming off Snyder's previous 2 films and giving us not just an epic movie, but one with a heart and soul that gets to the true reasons that we love all these characters. I honestly really love this movie. Again, Junkie XL's score is phenomenal and adds to everything as the cherry on top of every single sequence. The action set pieces are phenomenal. Zack Snyder's direction and the vision for what he wanted to bring about is one of the most epic things that I've ever seen in a comic book film, and adding to all the performances, everything is enhanced. Henry Cavill, great. Gal Gadot, amazing. Jason Momoa, hilarious but great as well in the role, and epic in every sense of the way. Ezra Miller, surprising as the Flash, I really enjoyed him in this. Ben Affleck, still my favorite Batman, and just added more reasons to why I love him in that role. And my god, Ray Fisher as Cyborg is the soul of this entire movie, adding so much depth. I was blown away. I loved this movie, and I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So with all that said, I'm going to give Zack Snyder's Justice League an A+. Definitely be people who don't think the same way as me, and that's completely fine. If you have issues with that movie, that's great. Let's be civil down below in the discussions. But also, even adding to that, I think if you're fans of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, this might not be for you. But I've also had friends who also weren't the biggest fan of those and really enjoyed this. I think the 4 hours flies by. The pacing is absolutely just... it felt like 2 hours. It really did. I'm shocked at how late it is now. We started this at 6 and it's 10 o'clock and it doesn't even feel like 10. I loved it all. I loved everything, and I can't wait to discuss this film in entire spoilers. So thank you guys again so much for tuning in. You guys are seriously all the best. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Comment down below your guys' thoughts, as well as head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thing to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. This is for Autumn. Restore the Snyderverse. Thank you so much, Zack Snyder. Thank you so much to Warner Brothers for letting him release his version. And of course, guys, until next time, stay classy.